It feels like there's a new large language model dropping literally every single day, right? And trying to manage, integrate, and wrangle all of them into a single cohesive business application can honestly feel like absolute modern tech chaos. Every model has its own unique quirks, capabilities, and specialties. Orchestrating them all together is becoming a massive headache for developers worldwide. But what if we could just centralize the whole shebang?
Imagine this scenario for a second. You want to use one specific LLM to interpret really complex user queries in your app, simply because it's fantastic at logical reasoning. But you want a completely different LLM to actually author the final response, because its tone is just way more natural. Trying to hard-code the bridge between these distinct models used to be an absolute nightmare. But that exact scenario is precisely what LangChain caters to.
You can think of LangChain as a universal remote. It's an open-source orchestration framework that gives developers a centralized environment to build LLM applications using both Python and JavaScript. And developers absolutely loved it. Launched by Harrison Chase back in October 2022, it enjoyed a seriously meteoric rise. By June of 2023, LangChain became the single fastest-growing open-source project on GitHub. It exploded in popularity because it finally allowed developers to seamlessly integrate language models with external data sources and existing software workflows, all from one single place.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. Meet LangChain. 2. The power of abstractions. 3. Core components and chains. 4. Data, memory, and agents. 5. Real-world business utility. And 6. The LangChain ecosystem.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 2. The power of abstractions.
The entire foundation of LangChain comes down to how it streamlines complex programming through something called abstractions. So what is that? An abstraction here is a simplified, generic interface representing the common steps and concepts you need to actually work with language models. Whether you're using a closed-source model like GPT-4 or an open-source model like Llama 2, or honestly, both at the exact same time, LangChain gives you a standard interface. All you really need is your API key, and these abstractions massively minimize the sheer amount of code required to execute complex tasks.
Think about the thermostat in your home. It lets you comfortably control the temperature without needing to understand or mess with all the complex electrical circuitry hidden behind your walls, right? You just turn the dial and set the temperature. That is an abstraction. Using LangChain is exactly like just setting your thermostat. You don't need to rewire your whole software house just to swap out an AI model or tweak a prompt.
Section 3. Core components and chains. Chains are the absolute core of LangChain workflows. Imagine you're building an application that needs to do a few things in order. Step 1. Retrieve data from a given website. Step 2. Summarize that exact text. And Step 3. Use that summary to answer a user's submitted question. That right there is a sequential chain. The output of the first function acts directly as the input for the next. And incredibly, each function in that chain can use built-in templates to automatically apply standing instructions, stuff like, hey, do not use technical terms. And you could even swap in entirely different language models for each of those individual steps.
Section 4. Data, memory, and agents.
To achieve really complex tasks, LLMs almost always need access to your external data, which LangChain refers to collectively as indexes. To get that data piped into the system, it uses document loaders. And the sheer variety here is staggering. You can pull from file storage like Dropbox or Google Drive. You can instantly load web content like scraping YouTube transcripts. You can pull directly from databases or tools like Pandas and MongoDB. It is a wildly robust ingestion system.
But look, just loading data isn't enough. The AI has to actually handle it intelligently. That's where advanced context handling comes into play. First up, vector databases. These store data as highly efficient numerical representations called embeddings, which allows for massive, rapid information retrieval. Then we have text splitters, which take massive documents and break them down into small, semantically meaningful chunks. And crucially, memory utilities. By default, LLMs have zero long-term memory of a prior conversation. LangChain provides simple utilities to retain either the entire conversation history or just keep a running summary. Why does this matter? Well, it ensures your custom chatbot actually remembers what a customer said 5 minutes ago. It makes the whole interaction feel seamless and, frankly, intelligent. Now, I want to slow down the pacing right here for a second, because this next concept is arguably the most high-impact feature of the entire framework: agents. When you build an agent in LangChain, you are using the language model not just to spit out generated text, but as a literal reasoning engine. You provide it with a list of available tools, the user's input, and the history of previously executed steps. The agent then evaluates all of this to autonomously determine which action to take next and when to take it. It literally thinks for itself to accomplish the end goal.
Section 5. Real-world business utility. Now, what's really interesting about this is how we actually put this abstract toolkit to work.
When we combine all these components we just learned about, we get a massive menu of tangible business utility. It drives value evenly across a variety of major use cases, with chatbots, summarization, question answering, data augmentation, and virtual agents all sitting right around 20% of the pie.
Let's walk through these distinct applications so we can see the exact business output. For chatbots, LangChain allows for seamless API integration directly into your existing communication channels, complete with that vital context retention we just talked about. For summarization, language models can be chained to digest incredibly complex academic papers or even just provide a neat daily digest of your incoming emails. For question answering, by leveraging those document loaders and vector databases, LLMs can retrieve exact, specific information from your specialized internal knowledge bases. This allows the AI to articulate highly accurate answers using information way outside its original training data. And for data augmentation, LLMs can be utilized to generate synthetic data, essentially creating brand new samples that closely resemble real data points, which is huge for training other machine learning models. But the absolute climax of this technology's capability really lies in virtual agents. As the source material notes, integrated with the right workflows, LangChain's agent modules can use an LLM to autonomously determine the next steps and then take the action, using robotic process automation. We are talking about virtual agents driving actual unassisted processes, software that reasons its way through a business task and physically executes the clicks and commands to get it done, all on its own.
Section 6. The LangChain ecosystem. So, beyond the core tool, LangChain has evolved to an entire suite designed to help you build and scale. The core framework is, of course, entirely open source and free to use. But the extended ecosystem offers even more. There's LangServe, a related framework that lets developers easily deploy their customized chains as REST APIs, making it super simple to plug them right into external platforms. And then there's Langsmith, which provides a comprehensive suite of tools to monitor, evaluate, and thoroughly debug these complex AI applications in real time. Put together, they simplify the entire lifecycle of building these massive workflows.
We've seen how LangChain acts as the ultimate universal remote, bridging diverse language models with your private data and incredibly powerful automated chains. But I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to consider. As artificial intelligence leverages tools like LangChain to act as independent reasoning engines, learning to autonomously determine its own next steps and physically execute them through robotic process automation, how is this going to completely reshape the fundamental future of software development? When apps can think and act for themselves, the possibilities are pretty much limitless. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.